Okay, so now on page 9, we're going to go over numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. So for number 3, again, you're adding mixed numbers. And whenever you're adding mixed numbers, first you truncate the fractions, which means just pretend the fractions aren't there. And you say to yourself, you're adding -3 plus 1. How do you add -3 plus 1? Well, I know the answer is definitely going to be -2. So I know my answer is negative. I find the sign, I put it on the line. How did I get a -2? Well, I actually did 3 minus 1, which is 2, but I kept the sign of the one with the greatest absolute value. So that means here I have to do 3 minus 1. But I have to actually do 3 2/3 minus 1 5/6. And I've already taken care of the fact that the answer is negative because I found the sign, I put it on the line. So now I'm just doing this step where I'm actually doing 3 minus 1. Notice it's always the bigger number on the top. Now, I have to change these to have a common denominator. So this would be 4/6 minus 5/6. But there's a problem here because I can't do 4 minus 5. So that means I have to borrow. So instead of writing a 3, I'm going to make that a 2. So this is actually 2 plus 1 4/6 minus 1 5/6. Now, this 1 4/6 is actually the same as 2 10/6 minus 1 5/6. And that gives me 1 5/6. And I know the answer is negative. So -1 5/6. Now, that was one way to do it. But there's another way if you find that confusing. And I still do this. No matter what, I have to say, this is really 3 minus 1. So I'm going to say 3 2/3 minus 1 5/6. Because my thought process is I'm doing the 3 minus the 1. But now, instead of dealing with mixed numbers, I'm going to change these to improper fractions. So this becomes 11/3 minus 11/6. And now I'm going to make this 22/6 minus 11/6, which is 11/6. I know it's negative because I already found the sign and put it on the line. And 1 5/6 is the same as -11/6. Okay. So now I'm going to do this one. So for this one, I need a common denominator. I'm going to do 35. 5 goes into 35 7 times. So this is -7 35ths minus 5 35ths. I do plus a negative. So this becomes -7 plus -5, which is -12 35ths. Okay? That one was pretty simple. Now for the decimals, again, you look at the decimals and you say to yourself, what is -8 plus 2? Well, I know it's approximately -6. What did I do to get a -6? I took the 8 on top and I subtracted the 2. So that's exactly what I'm going to do and give myself a negative here so I don't forget. 12 minus 3 is 9. 14 minus 5 is 9. 7 minus 2 is 5. And my answer is -5.99. Now for number 6, I'm going to say, what would a -3 minus a half be? And actually, that would be -3 1/2. When you plus a negative plus a negative is a greater negative. So I know this answer is going to be negative. And it's going to be, what I'm going to do is just add my two numbers. So that means I just add 3.56 plus 0.49 because a negative plus a negative is a greater negative. So this becomes 15, carry the 1, 0, carry the 1, 4.05. So the answer is negative 4.05. So the key to being successful with these is always think about, what if I just truncated the decimals or truncated the fraction if I have mixed numbers? And nobody struggles with negative 3 plus 1. You all know that's negative 2. You all know you take the 3 and subtract the 1 to get 2 and keep the sign of the negative. The same thing applies here. You put the big number on top, you subtract the small number. Your final answer will be negative because the negative was the bigger. Okay, so now you can do some practice problems.